Well, joining us in the studio is Mansour Shuman. He's a Canadian, Palestinian citizen journalist and activist. His family home is near AlShifa Hospital. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. The pictures that we're seeing are essentially of a wasteland, and our correspondent Hani described it as people saying it's a graveyard. I understand that your home is close to that. Can you tell us where your family are and if you have spoken to them recently?
Yes, AlShifa Hospital is around 250 meters close to where I was living. It was our family hospital together with hundreds of thousands of others. AlShifa Hospital was the place where a lot of people from around Gaza Strip had specialized care. My wife's family are mostly in Rafah and in the middle region. However, we've had several family members from her side in AlShifa Hospital over the last 2 weeks. The last time we were in contact with them was 5 days ago, and since then we don't know what happened to them.
When you spoke to them 5 days ago, did they give you any idea of what the conditions were like at the hospital at the time?
No food, no water, no safety. They were basically telling us their goodbyes. We didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. We fear the worst for them. We're not sure if they've been martyred or they've been taken into custody. You're talking about men, women, and children who are civilians, some who work in journalism, some who had just their normal day-to-day trade and thought that AlShifa Hospital was a safe place for refugees to stay in. The narrative that the IDF has been saying since the start of the genocide is that AlShifa is the command and control center for Hamas group. They've attacked AlShifa Hospital now 4 times and until now have provided zero evidence of that. My question is, where are the voices of the outside world, the NGOs, the UN? AlShifa Hospital has been a center for refugees and before that a center to ensure that patients receive care. Now they are ghost buildings. Now it's been gone into ruins. And now it takes with it the stories of hundreds of people whose lives now have been taken away with it. Women, children, elderly, and those who are sick. When will this madness end? When will the world speak up in order to ensure that what happened to AlShifa doesn't happen again to another clinic or facility in Gaza Strip? What are we waiting for?
As you can imagine, many of our viewers around the world won't be able to even imagine what it must be like to be in the circumstances that your relatives were facing in AlShifa Hospital. When you were talking to them, did they give you any sense of what was happening, of the kind of restrictions and conditions that they were existing in 5 days ago when you last heard from them?
So in order for them to get a signal to talk to us, they need to go in certain areas in AlShifa Hospital. And while talking to us, we can hear the sounds of sniper shots, drones, special units in the background shouting inside their microphones, you know, telling people to come to the outside areas and present themselves for interrogation. You are talking about being in a real-life war situation here. Despite the challenges that they were in, they're the ones that kept our morale high, telling us that we're going to get through this together. And that their request is the people of the outside world, don't forget about Gaza, don't forget about AlShifa, don't forget about the Palestinian people who are striving for their freedom. It's really difficult to tell you in words how I felt at that time and how I'm feeling right now. However, you know, I was in the UK a couple of days back and attending the Million Man March for Humanity for Palestine, and I spoke there. And that gave me a glimpse of hope that the political situation, the landscape for the human mindset towards the Palestinian people is changing, and that we need more of that. We need more demonstrations. We need more activism on social media. We need more politicians and lobbyists to work against what is happening by the Zionist forces against the Palestinian people. It is really difficult to put into words what I'm feeling right now. But definitely what's happening is going to continue to fuel us moving forward. And we're just getting started in order to ensure that we get the freedom that Palestinians need.
We've obviously been hearing stories from people inside Gaza and the kind of conditions throughout the last 5 months that people have been going through. One tends to forget that many people have families outside Gaza who, as you've just described, don't have contact with their relatives inside Gaza. Talk to me about what it feels like to be outside what is happening, particularly when you can't contact your family.
The general rule that families go by is if we don't hear about them or from them, hopefully this means they are doing well. Because if we hear about them, that they've passed away, we would have got news from the hospitals or the clinics. And since there is silence, it means hopefully that they're okay and they're just in an area that doesn't have a signal connection. Again, I'm giving you best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that they've been martyred and they're under the rubble for months now, and unfortunately their bodies have decayed and they will never find them again. And you can also hear about the news about the IDF carrying in trucks all the rubble from different areas around Gaza, mixed with the skeletons and the bones and the remains of those that have left behind them. So this news as well enrages the community outside, the Palestinian community outside, thinking that, you know, what if that was my nephew or cousin, my niece, my sister, my son, who's now being used to build something else for the IDF. So it's a mixture of emotions.
Mansour Shoman, thank you very much. We appreciate that this is a difficult time for you and your family, and we're grateful to you for coming to talk to us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mansour Shoman, good to see you, Mansour. What do we know about what's been happening at AlShifa?
I mean, this is the fourth or fifth time that the IDF has attacked AlShifa Hospital Medical Complex. This time, however, I think they have permanently damaged the building and its inside facilities. It is totally now out of service. It cannot be used as a hospital anymore, or even as a place for shelter. Lots have been killed. Many have been injured. We're still getting news about exactly what happened and is happening right now around AlShifa Hospital. But if you remember earlier in the war, there was very, very strong propaganda against AlShifa, it being the center for the Hamas group to run its operations. And that was all proven false as time went by and as no evidence came out. Together with other bystanders and people looking from the outside, we still don't understand why the IDF continues to attack the hospitals, even though it is used as refugee centers, even though it is used as places to treat civilians that need this medical care.
And I know that you spent a lot of time reporting from outside another hospital in the south, the Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis. The Israeli siege there turned into what some witnesses described as a place of death. Just how bad is the situation regarding Gaza's hospitals at the moment?
I think over 90% of the clinics and hospitals are out of service now, either because of very heavy bombardment or they just ran out of fuel. Right now, people are trying to set up field hospitals together with the support of NGOs from around the world. Doctors and nurses are trying to, in the camps, in the refugee camps, in the tent cities, trying to tend to the people that need help and support as much as they can. The medications have run out, the anesthetic has run out. It's very, very difficult when it comes to the medical team. Right now, the biggest hospital is Shuhada al-Aqsa in the middle region of Gaza Strip, but that also has been attacked over the last couple of days again, with many have been killed at the entrance of the hospital and inside injured. So the situation looks pretty grim.
Mansour, thank you for speaking to us and bringing us up to date on the dire situation there. Canadian-Palestinian journalist Mansour Shoman, thank you.
Thank you.